The global fight against the deadly Ebola crisis is beginning to yield results. So says the head of the UN Mission for Ebola Emergency Response, UNMIR, Tony Banbury. Mr. Banbury briefed journalists this week at a joint press conference in Accra, Ghana, during a visit to the region by the United States Ambassador to the United Nations, Samantha Power.
We're seeing a lot of progress, work by national governments, NGOs, UN agencies, bilateral partners like the United States, and UNMIR as well. And we're starting to see the impact of all these efforts. There's been a very significant mobilization of international personnel, resources, capabilities to work side by side with the government, and those efforts are starting to pay off.
The news came as WHO officials in Geneva reported a decline in burials and sickbed occupancy rates in Liberia, one of the 3 countries affected by the Ebola crisis.
We still have a very serious crisis on our hand. There are people dying every day. There are people who are becoming newly infected every day. And there are still some serious requirements to put in place the necessary capabilities to bring the crisis to an end.
Secretary General Ban Ki-moon traveled to the Horn of Africa this week at the head of a delegation of world leaders, pledging $8 billion towards the region's development and security. Touching down in Mogadishu, Mr. Ban noted that after decades of conflict and bloodshed, Somalia was making remarkable progress along the road to stability.
Politically, this country is coming together like never before. I especially commend the agreements to form regional administrations. These bodies must be inclusive with strong representations of women and young people.
Visiting the Dadaab refugee camp in neighboring Kenya with World Bank President Jim Yong Kim, the Secretary General nevertheless voiced concern about the continuing humanitarian crisis across the region.
Our purpose of our world leaders is to help you return to your home country so that you can live with your family members and brothers and sisters.
Amid ongoing insecurity, famine, and drought in Somalia, hundreds of thousands of Somali refugees have fled over the border into Kenya and are now sheltered at Dadaab, the largest refugee camp in the world. The first ever United Nations Youth Policy Forum kicked off this week in Baku, Azerbaijan, bringing UN officials and youth delegates from around the world together to discuss the future of young people everywhere. The UN's envoy on youth, Ahmad Al-Andawi, said that while each nation faced unique challenges, everyone agreed on the urgent need to address increasing youth unemployment and improve access to quality health care and education. In a video message to the gathering, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon agreed.
Empowering young people is one of my top priorities. Young people are the leaders of tomorrow, but we need to listen to them carefully today. When young people speak up and identify the policies that matter to them, governments, businesses, and civil society can all benefit.